I don't usually share clips of good games for two reasons. First, I don't want anyone to think I'm bragging, and second, more importantly, I don't usually have good games. But in one of my 10,000 rounds of Gauntlet in Battlefield 6, the stars aligned in a most unexpected way. It started off with setting me up for failure. The previous round was a rodeo match where everybody tries to ride a tank like a bucking bronco, and this meant that I still had my engineer class. Now, I'm typically a support main because I'm a very helpful helper, and so anytime that I don't have my usual setup, I feel like a newborn baby with an empty milk bottle and an anti-tank rocket launcher. Unfortunately, I didn't realize this until well after the game had begun, and at that point it was too late to change my loadout. I tried to do the best with what I could by placing down a motion sensor mine near a row of hedges, just in case they started causing some trouble. But even though I wasn't perfectly in my element, I wasn't gonna let anything stop me from playing the objectives and making my grandma proud. I was absolutely more cautious than usual. I spent a lot of time crouching down and listening for footsteps, where I might have otherwise been sprinting everywhere and throwing caution to the wind. This meant that my progress was slower, but my movement was much more methodical. It also gave me plenty of time to think of names for my new stuffed animal, which was a very high priority for me at the time. In my usual games, I go and seek out trouble. But in this round, I was waiting for something to find me. I felt much more possessive over the terminals and had less interest in capturing new territories and more interest in defending existing zones. This resulted in me getting the drop on a lot of unsuspecting soldiers who were much more ambitious than I. If it seems like I'm overly diagnosing this round, it's because going so long without dying is so bewilderingly peculiar that I have to see what changed from my usual activity. In the second half of the game, I stopped caring so much about the objectives as I became increasingly cognizant of how strange this game was. I wasn't recording my microphone at the time, otherwise you would have heard some excruciating breathing, but with a minute and a half left, I realized that I was actually doing well. This is not a good thing. In my brain, if I recognize that I'm on a hot streak, I get real nervous that I'm gonna mess it up. And in the opposite situation, if I realize that I'm doing horrible, I get nervous that it will never change. So basically, if I'm self-aware, it is certain doom. And yet, on this day, I kept my cool. I channeled my inner babe, meaning the pig from the 1995 classic, a real inspiration. Perhaps there's some life lesson in the realization that things don't have to start off in your favor to end in your favor. Even if you picked the wrong outfit, even if your parents don't own half of downtown London, you can still make great things happen. After running out of ammo, I eventually remembered that you can pick up loadouts from fallen soldiers, which gave me a last-minute lifeline. Truth be told, I have no idea how the rest of the game turned out. Our team probably lost in an embarrassing fashion, but I had one phenomenal round, and that was enough for me. Thank you for sharing in this beautiful moment with me. By the way, I eventually decided on the name Captain Baron Porkins, just so you know.